In a few days' time, we celebrate one of the most important days in the history of South Africa, Freedom Day. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this week's An Nur the Light. The foundation of our freedom can be found in the South African Constitution, and we went to find out how Muslims are benefiting from this.
The South African Constitution is an internationally lauded document, renowned for its progressive stance on the protection of human rights. It encompasses the rights and responsibilities of all South African citizens on the basis of human dignity, equality and freedom.
The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and the Constitution compels that all laws and conduct must be consistent with the Constitution. The Constitution provides for the Bill of Rights, and the Bill of Rights consists of multidimensional rights. So everything which happens within our country, all conduct, all laws must be consistent with the Constitution.
The drafting of the current Constitution took 2 years to complete and is meticulously inclusive of our multicultural landscape. Two significant contributors are prominent Muslim legal minds, Mohammed Baba and Zak Yaqub.
The authors of our Constitution had the foresight to see what religious tolerance meant for social cohesion in a country. And we could not allow, of course, I have several identities. I am of Indian extract, I am of Muslim extract, so I'm an Indian, I'm a Muslim. But above all, I'm South African. And my South Africanness has a way of closing any other social divide that may exist. And I say this unequivocally, that no matter where I go, I sit back and I say, thank God, as a Muslim, I am living in South Africa. We are, as Muslims, perhaps the most fortunate people in the world in this country. The kinds of rights and privileges we have in this country, we won't even experience in Muslim countries.
The second chapter of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, outlines the specific laws that safeguard religious observance and the right to establish faith-based organizations, namely the right to equality, religion and freedom of expression.
What is beautiful about the Constitution is that the rights in the Constitution is multidimensional. And the spirit of the Constitution promotes human rights. That's core to the Constitution. That is fundamental to the Constitution. So previously in the past, how we practice our religion, our belief conscious, that was not a right protected, and the protection was not guaranteed by any other law. So what the Constitution does, it protects that rights. It allows freedom of religion. It allows freedom of conscious belief. It provides for equality. So it basically guarantees people from all religions to practice their religions, their faith, and even to express their religion and faith.
The backdrop of the experience of many majority Muslim countries, majority Muslim communities in other parts of the Muslim world, in other parts of the Arab world, I think comparatively there are studies where others have articulated their admiration for the Muslim community in South Africa. There are many areas I think that Muslims are much better off in South Africa than what they are in other parts of the Arab world and the Muslim world. I think the makeup of South African freedom, the makeup of South African democracy, the makeup of South African institutions gives me as a Muslim the pride to express my absolute contentment as a Muslim living under such a political system in South Africa.
Muslims represent only 2% of the population, and yet Islam is formidably reflected in the fabric of the country. The unmistakable halal symbol, traditional Islamic attire, and towering mosques are liberties protected by the Constitution.
We are guaranteed to practice your rights as a Muslim. Nobody can take it away from you. If you want to wear a scarf, a headscarf, if you want to make prayers, no one can forbid you or restrict you or compel you not to do that. For example, there was a recent judgment which basically dealt with a girl who wore her nose ring to school, and the school forbade her to wear the nose ring because they said it was not consistent with the school policy. They took the matter to court, and they found that even though wearing a nose ring is not a compulsory in her religion, but the fact that it was a way of her expressing herself, expressing her religion, she should be allowed to wear it at school. But the beauty of this is that we can now enforce our rights to practice Islam. We can now freely practice it without intimidation, without being marginalized, without being discriminated against in any way.
The story of the Constitution dates back 9 decades and has since been transformed to protect the rights of all South Africans. Significant strides have been made to ensure that the practice of Islam in South Africa can be done without trepidation or discrimination.
Census puts us as only 2% of the total population, but we have much to be thankful for as far as South Africa's constitution is concerned. My prayer is that Allah keeps us safe and grants hidayah to those in high office to make the right choices for all who live in this country. Next up is our events calendar.
Come support a good cause at the Soweto Muslim Shura Council fundraising event happening on the 7th of May at the Protea South Community Hall. The event will be held in aid of raising funds for the renovation of Soweto's first and oldest mosque, the Indlamini Mosque. Join the South African Quran Union in collaboration with the AWQAFSA and Madrasa Tartilul Quran as they host the annual South African National Qiraatul Quran competition. Pop in at the Bosman Masjid in Gauteng to witness the amazing talents of all the male and female participants competing for the prize. If you love fashion, don't miss the Precious Rose Design Collaboration event taking place on the 21st of May at the Alhambra Restaurant, Imam Haroon Road, Lansdowne. Showcasing trending looks for Eid Winter 2016 will be designer labels Precious Rose, Infinity and Advanced Culture and Habibati. Committed to the promotion and development of modest fashion is Hijab Fashion Week SA, taking place on the 22nd of May at the Nikomalan Hall Observatory, Cape Town. Showcasing their newest designs of 5 of South Africa's most talented modest design labels.
Aziza Esop is a former teacher who gave up her stable job to pursue her love for art. Ever since then, she has not looked back, and we spent some time with her to find out more.
Aziza Esop is a natural-born artist specializing in Islamic calligraphy, painting and drawing. She finds art to be as natural as breathing and has since childhood ardently nurtured her love and talent for it, a passion that would not be denied or ignored.
I think I've always loved art. I can't say when it was that I discovered it. It's always been there. It's always been a part of who I am. And it's always been something that I've wanted to explore, and it was just me. I did try to do something else. I did do engineering for a while, but eventually I ended up going back to fine arts because that is who I am.
After initial discouragement, Aziza decided to pursue her passion and completed her undergraduate degree at the University of Cape Town and a fine arts honours degree at Wits. Being the daughter of a teacher and seeing teaching as a means of transferring her skills and passion to others, Aziza took up a teaching post at the St. Andrew's School for Girls.
Studying art wasn't something that was encouraged. I think at that time no one really could foresee where it could go as a career. So I was encouraged to, study something that was more kind of feasible, and I did for a while, but eventually I just reverted back to fine arts because I think that is who I am. My mother was a teacher, and while I was studying, it was something that I started part-time because of her. And it became something that I enjoyed, and I just continued. And then the opportunity became available for me to teach art, and yeah, I grabbed it. I think the most powerful part about teaching art is that you change how a person thinks. You have that much of an influence in how they see the world and interact with the world. And I think it is when I am able to help children appreciate and develop their self-awareness that I get the greatest joy, and I find that most rewarding.
Despite finding teaching incredibly rewarding, Aziza didn't have much time for her art, and it was taking second place to the more pressing duties of her day job. After seeing her work displayed in various exhibitions, such as the Iziko South African National Gallery and the Investec International Art Auction, Aziza made the decision to leave the comfort of stability to pursue art full-time.
I didn't teach too far away from Z, so I was frequently in and out of her classroom, passing through it, etc. And her classes were always busy, active, happy spaces. A group of teachers, again, who decided we really would like just to learn a bit more about art. None of us really has had too much in the way of formal training. And the classes were not didactic in any way. It wasn't as if Z stood there and instructed us as she would perhaps in a classroom situation. Far more, she walked alongside us and would guide us and help us when we experienced difficulties and make suggestions.
Today, Aziza's work can be seen displayed at Constitution Hill as part of the unveiling of the Hijabi exhibition in Johannesburg. The exhibition aims to educate women about their legacy and to inspire a greater appreciation for art and its role in creating awareness on women's place in society.
I think the invitation came at the right time for me to be a part of this exhibition. It was at the time when I was thinking about pursuing my own art career. So I think for me it was the timing that played a key role. So I grabbed it. It was an opportunity to start pursuing my own art, which I've left for a while. When the invite came about, I took it. The only thing that I do wish to achieve through my art is to touch more lives, speak to more people, make a difference, maybe improve or uplift people's lives in some way.
Pursuing one's passion takes a certain kind of courage, many leaps of faith and boundless belief in one's own talent. For this former teacher, purposefully pursuing her passion for visual art was the only choice to a joyful life.
Sisters following their dreams are so inspirational and heartwarming. This week's travel segment takes place in Free State of all places, and from what I hear, it's definitely a place to visit.
The Free State is most definitely one of those undiscovered places, as many people just whiz through the province on their way elsewhere. But if you stop for a moment and take in the view, you'll soon realize that this is a place of breathtaking beauty. At the foot of a mountain stands Tempelhof Game Farm, where visitors can interact with a variety of wild animals.
Ons bring alle diere wat deur mense aangebring word hier na toe. Maak ons groot, sorg vir hulle en ons sien om na hulle. En dan teel ons met leeu's, ons teel met rooi katte, ons teel met dierboskatte, ons teel met willeehonde en dit word afgekoop in die mark.
The drive to the game farm and the views across the valley to the Maluti Mountains will leave one feeling content as the visitors lay bare the absolute grandeur of the scene. Tempelhof Farm was also the very first farm in South Africa that instituted green practices way back in 1952.
Hierdie plaas het 'n groot geskiedenis. Veldmaarskap Tempelhof met die Boereoorlog het die plaas gedoop na hierdie Tempelhof. En toe ons die plaas koop, toe begin my vrou die geskiedenis opvolg. En toe ons die geskiedenis opvolg, dis die eerste plaas in Suid-Afrika wat daar grondbewaring toegepas is. En toe het hulle hom nou genoem die Groenplaas. Omdat ons so lekker gasvry is, ons maklike mense, ons praat met almal en ons geniet almal en ons vat almal uit na plekkies toe wat mooi is op die plaas. En dit is net lekker om met mense te werk. Ons is mense.
One of the most popular interactions is the feeding of the lion cubs, and visitors can participate in this or just take a walk with them. Conservation is very important on this farm, and there's constantly new ways being implemented in making sure the animals are well cared for. Leaving this place of tranquility will be difficult, but there's a whole lot more to discover in this most beautiful of provinces. Chocolate is one of those delicacies that are known to make any day better. The saying local is lekker is quite apt for the delicious handcrafted chocolates made in Clarence in the Free State.
Kenny Chocolates is a brand that we started in 2010 after I came back from a trip to Alaska. It's about creating really good chocolate using some of the best products in the world. It's about sourcing our products. Very important for us to source the best.
We put passion and soul in our chocolates. We have been to trade shows all over the world. We can hold our own. We use quality ingredients. Our designs are world class. And we love what we do. It's our passion.
Callan Thomas can be described as a master chocolatier whose craft has been perfected over many years. One look at these beautiful handmade chocolates and all resistance crumbles in an instant.
We create a range of ganaches, which is basically dark chocolate and cream. And those ganaches all have a different flavor that we infuse in, and they all have a different pattern. The pattern that we put on top is actually made from the cocoa bean, from cocoa butter. And then we also have a range of toffeluxes, which have a very thin layer of toffee in the bottom. So you have a merging of the flavors. And then we do also the traditional fudge and the Turkish-style nougat, and we have a pretty wide range of products.
The store in Clarence is well stocked with a variety of chocolates to choose from. There's also the option of ordering online. The Free State is well known as a place where some of the best sandstone buildings can be found in South Africa. One of the finest examples is the old Gumtree Mill, which is claimed to be the tallest such structure still around. At one stage, the mill was a hub of activity as farmers brought their maize to be ground and shipped it to places all across the country.
Well, seemingly it is the tallest sandstone building in South Africa. You know, this is hearsay, but it goes by that fame. And it ran for a long time, you know, 50 years at least, 40 under the South African Milling Company, but then I would say 10 under Skitters Dry Milling Company. And so it had quite a long history. You know, not many of them have lasted that long.
Apart from the mill, there was also a small village with a train station and post office. The train station became a place of great joy and sorrow as young and old departed or arrived from the area.
it did develop a community, quite an active, a small community, but it was quite an active one, thanks largely to the railway line, which was the Bloemfontein line, which ultimately went on to Durban. It was the Cape Town-Durban line. It was expanded. Every few years they worked on it, and it slowly expanded from Bloemfontein and reached here in about 1907, 1908. And that's when Charles Stevens realized he now had the transport to get his products away, and he built them all.
Today, the village lie derelict, but there are plans to save the buildings and even restore it to its former glory. It will take a lot of money to do this, but the history of the place and its impact cannot be denied. Visitors who enjoy history and architecture will delight in the shadow of the old gum tree mill and village.
I have a bone to pick with the team. I've been told that they returned to office with a box of chocolates and nothing left for me. It looked almost too beautiful to eat. We're playing out with an inspirational music video by Hamoud Al-Qudr called Keep Me True. From me, Mara Mukonda, Salang Hantle, Assalamu alaikum.
بالصلاة تطيب لي الحياة وأرضي بها الإله يحلو الوصال راحتي إن ضاقت كربتي توجهت لقبلتي قم يا بلال فالأذان يشعرني الأمان والصلاة تعيد لي الحياة I see your light 5 times every day melting my fears away oh when I pray I hear the call it led me to your door I want my heart to soar to you my Lord oh God above bless me with your love and keep me true loving and praising you للإله سعيت إلى الصلاة مناجاة النجاة فله المآل عزتي بركوعي وسجدتي بها حريتي لك ذا الجلال فالأذان يشعرني الأمان والصلاة